All right, Chris Broussard on the show after us is now joining us live. Okay, so Zach Lowe came out and said, he said it on a podcast at The Ringer. He said, listen, Luka's getting worked early in these series, and it's not that trading Luka was crazy. It's that they got nothing back, and that at some point, our staff showed me this morning, Brew, Luka had 25 dunks as a rookie. He has 2 in the last 2 years. There is some athletic decline. It's something. And what do you make of his performance in this series?
No, that's a great point. I thought that was interesting what Zach said, that smart people in some corners of the NBA understand why they traded him. Like you said, you just want to get more. I would not have traded him. I still feel that way. But there's no question. When you look at some of his highlights in earlier years, as a rookie, his second year, he was dunking on people. He was taking people off the dribble and dunking on them. Like, he did not look that unathletic, and now he does. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think the feeling, Colin, is that even though he's only 26, there's a feeling that his prime will be a lot shorter than, other players. Like, that he's got maybe 3-4 more years. Now, I'm not saying this is right, but there's a feeling out there he's got 3-4 more years at, as one of the top 5 players in the league, and then it's over after that. Defensively, obviously, you see the problem, and I get it. He's not incredibly quick and athletic. But what his problem defensively is that not only is he bad defensively, but he's disinterested most of the time. If he's bad and interested, then you can make yourself a decent defender. Steph Curry, Steve Nash, bad defenders, but interested defenders. So what that means is they communicate, they make sure they're in the right position on the floor, and they become passable on that side of the ball. Luka, when he wants to be, is passable as a defender. But most of the time he doesn't. He's disinterested, and that's a problem. So I say Luka needs to win a championship before LeBron falls off, because there's no guarantee, Colin, that he will have another teammate as good as even a 40-year-old LeBron is. And so every year that he doesn't win it, because of his greatness and because of the things that came out of Dallas as to why they traded him, the pressure is going to get higher and higher every single year on him until he wins the championship.
By the way, Ant shot 83% when guarded by Luka in Game 4. Now, it wasn't a lot, but it shows you. Now, the series that's been fascinating, I took the Rockets over the Warriors. I said youth, athleticism, depth. It's all 3 of the Warriors' best players are all mid-30s, and I don't know what Pods is going to give you, and Kuminga is in the doghouse. I am actually surprised by the outcome, is that I've said this about Jalen Green. He's an athlete. I'm not sure he's a great basketball player. He's an amazing athlete. The Jalen Green stuff, he has disappeared in 3 of the 4 games. Are you surprised by the outcomes here?
Not at all. I was 99.8% certain Golden State was going to win this series. Like, I just felt it in my bones because of the experience gap. Like, I think Houston has had a phenomenal year. I think going forward, they will definitely emerge as a legit contender. Şengün is great. You're right. Jalen has a lot to learn, and his inexperience is showing. 7 points, 8 points, 38 points, 9 points. And you just can't have that in the playoffs from your leading scorer. So that's inexperience showing. But Golden State, not only are you inexperienced, you're facing a 4-time champion, plus playoff Jimmy Butler, who smells it. He feels like this is my best chance ever to win a championship. If you look at those teams he led to the finals in the East, one year Tyler Hero was hurt. He had Bam Adebayo and a bunch of role players that are having trouble getting on playing time on their new teams. Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin. And he led them to the finals and took Anthony Davis and LeBron to 6 games in the finals. Now he's actually got a squad with some real talent and a good coach in Steve Kerr. He smells it, and that's why I'm not surprised at all. I thought it would be tough and hard fought because Udoka is great and the Rockets do play great defense, but I just thought the experience gap was going to be too much for them to overcome. And they'll learn from this. This is great for them going forward.
So I have been a believer in the Celtics. I've said I think they're historically a little underrated because their superstar is not a publicity-seeking, attention-seeking player, Tatum. He's just really good. And we tend to have a bias towards anti-Spurs and Duncan, pro-Kobe Shaq, the dream, the Michael Jordan. Listen, basketball is aesthetics. We all fell in love with Dr. J. He wasn't the best shooter. He was the most fun guy to watch. So we kind of punish the Spurs. I think we punish the Celtics because they're depth and collaborative and Tatum. But I'm telling you, I'm watching Miami be humiliated. And I'm interested. Does Boston get past Cleveland?
Yeah, first of all, I think great point about the Celtics. Look, obviously Jayson Tatum is more exciting to watch than Tim Duncan, but I do think it's similar in terms of we're underwhelmed with Tatum, even though he's great. And if they win the championship this year, Colin, we do have to say, okay, what do we do with Jayson Tatum? As far as ranking him historically, ranking him in the league right now. As far as the Cavs, I said yesterday on First Things First, Cavs winning the East. I've got the Cavs winning the East now, and I know it's going to be tough. Maybe I'm a little out there far because I'm from Cleveland. But you don't see teams humiliate, to use your word, the Heat like they did. And I get it. The Heat clearly quit in Game 4. You don't get beat by 60, essentially, if you don't quit in the NBA playoffs. However, Cleveland made them quit. In Game 3, when they went, Game 2 was only a 9-point win for the Cavs in Cleveland. So Miami's thinking, okay, we can make this thing a series going home. Cleveland smacks them by 37 points, and then the Heat knew it was over, and they quit. And so just to make Miami quit like that is impressive. They did it without Darius Garland, who was an all-star guard who's been out with the toe injury. They've got the superstar that can create his own shot when all else fails in Donovan Mitchell. They've got another great guard in Garland, guards off the bench in Strus and Ty Jerome, and DeAndre Hunter's a great sixth man. And then they've got the size at the rim in Mobley and Jared Allen. They defend the paint and the three-point line. They move the ball. They are legit. And they have also, Colin, which is what Houston hasn't done, and maybe even OKC to some degree, they have taken their lumps. They lost 2 years ago in the first round of the playoffs. They lost last year in the second round of the playoffs. And now the questions were, are they tough enough? Do they shrink? They've gone through all that. So now I think they are ready. They kind of remind me, and I know this is going to be an overstatement, but when Golden State won it in 2015, we looked at them like, good team, 50-win team, but second round at best. They get a new coach. He comes in, inserts a new offense, and then they just take off and surprise everybody by winning the championship. That kind of reminds me of these Cavs in that they were a good team, a 50-win team. They had a good coach before in Bickerstaff. But Atkinson comes in there, does some things differently, and they go to a level that we didn't think they had. And I'm giving them a legit shot to win the East and even maybe win the finals. So, yeah, I believe in the Cavs.
Finally, let's talk Knicks. A year ago, the Pistons are in a rebuild, and the Knicks think, hey, we got Mikal Bridges, we can challenge the Celtics. I watch them, it's the same team. I think the Knicks are an inch better. One of the reasons they are in a good spot as a franchise, they were patient. Is it time to acknowledge they're not close to Cleveland or Boston or OKC? The patience thing was wonderful, but it is now time for a big swing in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they can get Giannis, who may be available this summer, then they got to go try to do it. Maybe even you look at a Kevin Durant. I agree with you. They're not going to beat Cleveland or Boston. They just aren't. I mean, they're struggling. I got them in 7. I picked them in 7 before the series. But obviously they're struggling with Detroit, which is, to some degree, was just happy to be in the playoffs this season. You look at their roster, though, Colin, and they should be as good as Cleveland and Detroit. I love Jalen Brunson. He is a superstar level player. He just is. We don't think of him that way because he started off his career as a role player and he's got a very, just a normal, regular person personality, it seems. But he is a superstar. But one thing they are going to have to look at, I think, going forward is he's probably too ball dominant. And I don't think that's selfishness. I just think he dribbles the ball too much. You look at their talent, they've got not just Cat, but Anunoby, other guys that can average 20 points a game, Bridges, Hart. They probably need to be a more egalitarian style offense where they're getting everybody involved and it's not just Brunson doing it all and creating for everybody else. I think that'll help take them to the next level.
Chris Broussard, show after us. Excellent stuff, Brew. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Colin. See you.
You bet.